We're learning about some big reactions to the punishment handed out to a former school system worker. You know, we've been hearing from members of the public in Blount County who expected more of a sentence. We've been telling you about Joseph Dalton since last year when he was arrested over allegations of inappropriately touching elementary students on at least 5 different occasions. Now, Dalton has been sentenced to 6 months probation and granted judicial diversion. This allows the charges to be eliminated once the probation is complete. Well, parents we spoke with are angered and upset to hear about the outcome. WATE legal analyst Greg Isaacs explained that Dalton's crime is considered a misdemeanor.
So even though they could not find evidence of touching of a sexual or prurient nature, they felt it important to bring a number of misdemeanor charges for offensive touching. That is very significant because it can impact somebody's current and future employment as a teacher or an educator.
It's very maddening to know that the people that we trust our children with when they're away from us at school could potentially be harming our children.
You know, parents upset by the sentence are planning to speak their minds at a protest tomorrow. As of right now, Dalton's teaching license still active. State Board of Education telling 6 News that with Dalton's case concluded, it will gather information from the court and conduct any necessary follow-ups. The board adds that cases must be presented during a case review committee meeting for a recommendation on license action. Next on our list, a big opening for a new addition to a big industry for East Tennessee. Mega Zip is touted as the nation's longest zip line and is now open in Pigeon Forge at Wildside, the new park set up by the people behind Anakista.
1, 2, 3, go!
Quite the ride, soaring over 1,000 miles above ground and stretching the length of a little over a mile. Tennessee Tourism Commissioner Mark Ezell says Wildside is an asset to the tourism industry.
It's an incredible thing to have a state that has great tourism assets. We're a sales tax state in Tennessee. We love that. We don't have personal income tax as a resident. What it means is the more visitors come and they spend their money in that sales tax revenue, it benefits the whole residents of all of Tennessee.
Longest zip line in the United States. It's hard to find topography that allows for something like that, and that really inspired us to say, hey, what's the fastest way to get from the very top of the mountain to the very bottom? And 2.5 minute ride down a mile is apparently the fastest way to do so.
I think it was probably 1,000 feet. I think we said 1,000 miles. You'd be ziplining from like the middle of the country. Hey, Wildside has been open for 6 months now with mountain biking trails, UTV tours. We're told those bike trails have doubled in size, and the co-founders tell us they have created 50 jobs over that time with plans to bring in more attractions in the future. And as graduation season kicks off, a new report shows where the labor market stands for the workforce's newest members. Payroll provider ADP finds that wages are up in Tennessee by more than 4% as graduates across the country enter the job market. The company's report also finds Tennessee ranks 23rd when it comes to states with the most wage growth. Now, ADP also says the median annual salary for job stayers in Tennessee for April was just over $55,000 a year. Big answer tonight in a deadly collision that we have been following for you. Knoxville police just released the name of the pedestrian killed yesterday along Broadway. It's Michael Young. Police say he was 44. Investigators yesterday said Young was hit while trying to cross Broadway outside of a crosswalk near Atlantic Avenue. The driver of the SUV involved was not hurt in the incident. Police say, though, the driver did stay at the scene. More from Knoxville police now in our Big 7 at 7. An 18-year-old has been taken into custody on an attempted first-degree murder charge stemming from a shooting. That shooting happened Sunday at an apartment complex on East Hill Avenue in East Knoxville. Now, Knoxville police say Robert Brabson shot a 16-year-old over a dispute about a stolen gun. The victim found shot in the leg. He was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. KPD says Brabson fled the scene. After police identified him as the suspect, he was taken into custody at an apartment on West Parkway Avenue in North Knoxville. Our next big story tonight at 7, a nonprofit that lost its city contract has found some new funding. Earlier this month, we told you about the city's decision to terminate its contract with Turnup Knox, the nonprofit receiving over $100,000 of outstanding payments from the city after this happened. Now, I spoke with Turnup Knox Executive Director Denzel Grant while we were taping this week's episode of Tennessee This Week. He tells me the city funding helped build the organization from the ground up, but he adds Turnup Knox will continue to operate despite losing the funding.
We do have our 501c3 status now currently. We've received funding from the Gene and Monday Foundation. The Appalachian Fund has been a great resource for us as well, and we're continuing to have conversation with other philanthropists who are out here doing supporting the work.
My conversation with Denzel Grant continues Sunday morning at 9:30 on Tennessee This Week. Next on our list, a big blow to a recent effort to better mental health care in American schools. The Trump administration announcing today it will not renew Biden-era grants worth $1 billion. Now, the grants were in part a response to school violence, part of the bipartisan Safe Communities Act passed in 2022. Now, President Trump's Education Department is saying the funding has instead gone to support racially based initiatives. The decision comes as the Trump administration takes sweeping action to eliminate DEI programs and what it sees as racial discrimination practices in schools. And looking at the potential local impacts on Knox County Schools' website, we saw that they have the Stronger Connections grant under their current grants tab. This is tied to the Safer Communities Act that President Biden signed. The website says the purpose of the Stronger Connections Grant program is to establish safer and healthier school learning environments, prevent and respond to acts of bullying, violence, and hate that impact school communities at individual and systemic levels, along with other programs and activities. Now, we have reached out to the school system and surrounding school systems to learn more of the effects of the Department of Education's decision.